the great thing about the chord progression is it's very simple, but it's also very hooky, and it's has kind of reminiscent of things you've heard of before, but it's like presented in a little bit of a new way. So that's kind of cool. So maybe we could just 1, 2, 3, 4 play the opening bit and then move to that verse.
The record version is actually dropped down a half step, but we're just gonna play it in the standard over here. So.
Cool. That verse I think is cool because you have like the tight palm mutes kind of laying the foundation, and then kind of that clean. Well, it should be clean anyway, but kind of clean picked out part, kind of sitting high. That's definitely one thing that from Cavallo that we learned a lot in the studio, where you really want to spread your octaves to, in a sense, like to kind of really give the listener a broad picture. So, that's also a great thing in mixing too. Like all the low end shit should be happening there, and it shouldn't have a lot of high stuff in there. You leave that for the higher, higher tone instruments, guitar. You can, and the chorus on that one, it's super simple, but it's very low. If you hit the chorus, so that's like, a high note that's, you're not even really hearing it, but it's kind of dug in there in the mix to kind of spread out the octaves. A lot of times we're kind of doubling, or, when we're choosing to play those separate parts, it's kind of a little bit more choosy. When we were doing the Revenge stuff and even like the Bullet stuff, it's also funny, I think it's something that you just, as you're younger, like,
tends to get noodly. And
you get noodly. Your brain is like going a million miles a minute, and wants to play as many notes as you possibly can in one song, or in 1/8 bars or whatever. Yeah. And that actually really works. For songs like play like something like, I know, granted we might be going off track, but I think Hang 'Em High is like a cool thing for that. Take the second verse, completely different, as usual. So that one, it's us doing two completely different things, but they kind of mesh together. We have like 2 different approaches, I think, to guitar playing, but also, especially over time, it feels like I've definitely learned from him.
Yeah, I learn every day from this kid.
Hopefully he learns, I don't know, at least a small bit, but I mean, I've learned so much playing with him, and you really learn how to work, with another guitar player, and it's like a team effort, and that's the best fun. It's interesting, there are roles, but I feel like they change depending on what song, what part.
It's always about making the song a better song, what I mean? Sometimes you have to support the vocal, sometimes you're countering the vocal, but it's just to make sure that the song is great, as opposed to like, well, I got this shreddy fucking riff that I want to play, I don't give a shit if it works in the song or not. But you'll see elements too, like even on Danger Days, where it's like, like we're changing up second verses, which is something that we really like to do. We're like, sometimes you'll get a fake out chorus where that happens a lot on Revenge. We'll fake to the chorus and then kind of hold back. But songs like Destroy It, second verse on Destroy It is completely different than the first verse, and you get these little elements that we learned early on, but kind of matured into
Yeah, I think that's, it's definitely important. When a listener is listening to the song, obviously depending on what song it is, sometimes a listener just wants to kind of. I think when things are a little more repetitive in a sense, you can tend to lose yourself a little bit more in it. Depending on what song it is, like a song on the record "Destroy It," it's way more aggressive. You want someone to be fucking on the edge of their seat the whole time. So each like you said, each section you want to kind of introduce something new. So we definitely like to do that. It even goes as far as like the first half of the verse is one riff, and then on the second half of the verse, maybe another guitar layer comes in to beef it up. There's a pre-chorus, and then there's one lead part you're first hearing in the pre-chorus, and then it moves to kind of focus on what he's playing, and that's the fun of like crafting the song. Is always keeping people on their toes. So there's, that's kind of exciting. Like on that song, I felt like doing like a little bit of Cars riff, which is this from, I think it might be from My Sharona or something. A little bit. And then, just having kind of like a Brian May thing towards the end. It's underneath, but there's like a rundown of... I had a tough time playing in the studio, so... Something like that. There's like a harmonized run underneath, so that's kind of like the Brian May little bit. So.